Ebusuafo na etie fo ni die kwan so mema obi bia akwa baba channel so daily update TV me pacho we de mensa momre kra Bobie ansa of the citizen show na wako ni show so man wako read documents bi na documents no read na according to ono no Agyin-Asare edin be ma kire say Agyin-Asare oye NDC sympathizer ye na nim say so be NDC obi a party sympathizer na che so oye that party no voting ma sa party ni na ye say sanity de na ye say Agyin-Asare also or pledging allegiance to NDC. So this time around obe vote Mahama because or NDC sympathizer. Yes, or NDC sympathizer wa endorse JM's come back. Na me pacho we the audio or your audio ne be koni akuti Bobie ansa kana no read. Very interesting. Pacho Jemre na yenkoni nkoti audio na ma refise na no first time I'll channel so mesra so ti audio ni we na so when you be subscribe for more updates so be like no share news no so ama wo love it so nya be tie we dey Agyin-Asare na we NDC ni a say so far o man kase o so be vote am bet o ye NDC sympathizer na je so o be NDC sympathizer o be vote ama NDC come 2024 o be vote ama former president John Dramani Mahama so the yenkoni nkoti audio ne for ourselves me that's very.
So let me go on. This means that he has a good nose for the highest bidder. His reliance factor. So they mentioned the John Boadu factor, the Rollins factor, other minor political parties. Let's touch on their religion and chieftaincy. The Ghana population is largely made up of Christians. We must bear that in mind, in all our activities. It is therefore essential for the government to take an interest in the relationship between the government and the church. It is further evident that a large number of discerning Ghanaians are not comfortable with the proliferation of mushroom churches and their activities. This is visible in the large support and condemnations received by Kennedy Japan when he declared war on the church. Government can easily capitalize on this and quickly come forward with legislation to regulate these churches. Immediate examples include Rwanda and will bring an end to the vulnerable women who have suffered years of abuse at the hands of these mushroom pastors. These issues notwithstanding, it is important to identify the profile some church leaders within the country as they seem to perpetrate an agenda against the political tradition. They must be properly contained and muted. Critically, Duncan Williams. So now they are coming to describe Duncan Williams. His love for money is not in doubt. A material inducement and commercial gains make him vulnerable to market incentives. This means that he has a good nose for the highest bidder. His relationship with
nose for the highest bidder. What do you say?
He has a good nose.
Just say the highest bidder.
I got Tiska.
And
also Otiska no the first word. God of Shalom, the Almighty. He has come down to visit me today. And in that night he told me that my son, the man, will come here early in the morning, 8 a.m. Congrats. Before I woke up, I couldn't see anywhere. I couldn't think about anything. Then I heard somebody knocking on my door. I said, Jehovah, you are almighty. Okay, so let me go on. This means that he has a good nose for the highest bidder. His relationship with leading members of the NDC is an open secret. It is therefore important to encourage the EC chair to build better relations and frequent his church. Kwame, what's it? Okay, his place as discreet as possible to seek spiritual direction and make firm pledges of a commitment to a transparent election. And the what was that? Omubeyi 13 or 15 eminent advisors. To a year easy, no.
Advisory committee.
Duncan Williams, Ekaho. Omu Yusu Jane Mensah to bring Duncan Williams into the game. Bishop Agyin-Asare. quite visibly an NDC sympathizer who only appears to shake or speak whenever MPP is in power. He must be watched carefully. Our men within his inner circles have done pretty well with accurate briefs, but it is time to add an open, muscular approach. The respect and esteem with which he is holding by other leading pastors may need to be marred by recruiting other high stage pastors to launch vile attacks in some ingenious ways. However, the president must desist from directly responding to him as advised by our people within his inner circle. So, Bishop, Agyin-Asare on the neck easy for no. Oman Franca, Sam Cranchankra. He is perhaps even more visibly a surrogate of the NDC who has cleverly reconciled his aspect to appear as a national Christian. A constant eye watch and monitoring of this man is required with specific efforts to contain his commercial interests, which have been identified. Otabel, even though sympathetic to us, information suggests that the closure of Capital Bank has somehow affected his loyalty to the MPP or to Nana. Brother Kenoforiata's account of his demeanor on the night before the announcement of the closure of Capital Bank indicates he was not too averse with our decision. The strategic implication of Ken meeting with the pastor and subsequent feedback from his inner circle points to the impression that he may what? Opt for an NDC replacement. Should that happen, it will be seen as a declaration of war by one of our own. We should be reminded that an insider fighting you is more dangerous than the sworn enemy. In any case, he appears to be more aligned with the Kufuor camp. Intelligent efforts should be adapted to root his church following against his person. Should he defect? So on Otabe, but Otabe the eminent adversaries no.
Ono minim the bad minim say national secretary national cathedral no.
No, that one he resigned.
But so koka ho. Actually no who say adwuma ne ahihya.
On chief imam, government must prepare an exit plan for the national chief imam. Also, Masha say, my kind. This has become necessary in view of the fact that the demise of his deputy has created a vacancy. The intense lobbying by other Muslim leaders should be taken into consideration. So
the eminent, advisory committee,
why?
It was made up of Mr. Justice Emily Short, Francis Emily Short, Reverend Professor Emmanuel Asante, Chairman Peace Council at that time, Sheikh Osman Nuru Shaributu, National Chief Imam, Mr. Sam Okudeto, the unlearned lawyer, Nana Ato Dazi, Council of State, and Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams, presiding bishop of the General Overseer Action Chapel International, Dr. Yao Ba, General Secretary Trades Union Congress, Reverend Charles Gabriel Palmer Buckle, Reverend Mr. Afemoni,
DJ President
Gifty Afenidazi, Reverend Professor Emmanuel Mate,
Mate Umbi,
Mr. Tony Forson.
Okay, so now I'm chief imam
Drew
Osai. My chief imam, the government must prepare an exit plan for the national chief imam. This has become necessary in view of the fact that the demise of his deputy has created a vacancy. The intense lobbying by the other Muslim leaders should be properly handled in the face of the promises we have made to each of them. Government will need to find a discreet way of influencing the process of the appointment of the next national chief imam as well as the deputy. The candidates for this should be well-verified party sympathizers who are likely to stand with the party in crucial circumstances, as has been with the current Ashanti region imam.
Mm-hmm. So you know what happened in respect of his license. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I was have a patch on.
Ashanti regional chief imam.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know ye person follow niema na de ade ba wie wo ba omi aso no ani a kira asem no. Mo atimi ahunu sese mo anyere mo ho a problem beba. Has shown his love for the Zongo community, creating the Zongo ministry and establishing the Zongo Development Fund. This is both remarkable and historic in the annals of the political history of Ghana. By this singular act, Nana has taken bold steps towards breaking the NDC monopoly of the Zongos. This project is a must if we ever intend remaining relevant within the Zongos. Finally, cognizance has to be taken for elevating over 50 chieftaincies to paramountcy status. We need further elevation of such chiefs in redefining our very statehood, for which the new uncelebrated old powerful kingdom is to be restored. It is very instructive. Looking at the broad coverage of the Buakwa, Kotoku and Bosome, we must critically guard against any such issue of the JSC and Megacha ruling of 2019. In 2007, Kotoku for no press conference say Buakwa for now for Mujimi ampe baby nyina. Asema ebesi no enye asem papa. Okay, so the national situation as regards the media landscape. Let's do the media. Quick one. The media has remained a veritable weapon in shaping public opinion and agenda-setting strategy. We therefore have to wage an even more valiant war in pursuit of our grand scheme to capture and dominate the media landscape. If our overriding ambition is to be realized in this regard, we have to adopt a prolonged approach, which making sure that the critical mass of the nation will not connect the rapid media capture with us. Phase one. It's so sad to say you know be no I want to hear white. So phase one, we envisage that the role of Kojo Akroma will continue to be crucial in our quest to dominate the Ghanaian media landscape. He was super when planted around some big weights of the SY Mills Mahama government. Okay. While at Joy FM, his secret recordings from the then ruling government illuminated. I didn't know you free one. Okay. Illuminated our discussions and greatly influenced our strategy, which culminated in the landslide victory of 2016. So upon Kroma what Joy Inyano, no record one. What can I say? Upon Kroma, what Joy. Now one of the close allies by Randiabi. Randiabi was seen to be at then say Atamios Asemba. I was said the Randiabi si kanafa. Say Jomama Asemba. I was said the si kanafa. And almost formal click be Kwakubaku Randiabi sefa kainum friends of John Mahama. But they were not friends to Atamios. And that was where the war of Armageddon. Because now, as a Miniko you the whole face almost squarely. Paper because they were able to use their powers. Anti multimedia. Yanko meet Yamako Joe Ponkuma and Kabia Mame da. Debia me an enemy. But no more formos are cabano. And that is why they were able to plan and get me out of multimedia. Because na men chima womo kra. Na dan de randi abenu from wo Peace FM. Komu kume. Na brother no me be wo mu ukwada. No me di wo mu Friday. nyere jojo no omo born by 1,000 times nyere jojo.
Yes.
Because at least you atamels ba ko afiri mu. You understand?
Yeah.
Enti omo plant upon Akroma wa all those things na or pick it. Oh. Anyway. Last point, I say no wonder that Gabi made every effort for the young man to be promoted to the office of a substantive information minister. This is more so when we cannot vouch for the credibility and loyalty of Dr. Mustafa Hamid. At crucial times, Mustafa was the longest serving spokesperson of Nana. But we were shocked when Nana caught him stealing campaign cash in such critical opposition era where we were suffocating from inadequate resources to prosecute campaign. Mustafa Somo Yinifrio.
I say Okowiaska.
Mustafa Hamid.
I Okowia parties, Okowia campaigns.
Owieska.
I was born the car glass no Owieska no.
Use microphone.
Obeka says cano. A friend is saying, Ayira, and so no Owia. But Akufo-Addo still kept him because he knew that he was a very good thief, clever thief.
But Yinifrin in chain.
Yes.
Until now, a woman who say ye Mustafa Hamid free on this is the reason.
Yeah.
Okowieska.
Yes.
And yet Mustafa Hamid Kokono.
Yes. Ofrino and your Koko.
Ofrino.
Yes.
Okowieska no.
There's nothing wrong in telling an albino is an albino because
sure.
they are good at knowing themselves.
So Mukaso Bobie sad dark boy no.
Yeah.
You know.
It's their color.
Yeah.
That's why the chairman of the albino
Fuamoni. Okay, so it is now obvious that Mr. Akroma has an ultimate presidential ambition. We have a duty to protect him and to assure him of our support for the future. The support will get him to commit to the media capture again. It is satisfying that he has been part of our manifesto drafting from 2012 to date. In the next government, 2021-2022, Gabi has already convinced Nana to move Kojo Akroma to the communication ministry to continue the clampdown on the opposition, as well as not too friendly radio and television stations. He is already excited about this promise on two grounds. He will be deemed to remain one of the loyalists for the future. Secondly, that ministry has one of the richest, hence a conduit for him to increase his personal financial muscles for his presidential ambition. So radio market in Ghana, omo aye chat mpacho kosruye omo aye chat no. Enti owo ha ubonse owo ha radio gold for no omunim hontokra se onya message free upon Akroma order.
Upon Akroma be a minister. Since that was 2017. December, I had my say I invited show hosts and producers to the Ministry of Information, where they were press sorry.
I see.
That was 2017. So so I don't know. Because no. We should say the outcome now good among us. Because thinking at least we have opened our doors to you. We are going to see some level of improvement to be. But anyama still na cost the backlash. Then on buy number 2 mukra, but 2.
Okay. So Oshasa ya. Media stations that's the medium audience concentration, no. They decided to use Multimedia Broadcasting Limited, controlling 26.2%, despite group of companies controlling 16.3%, Omni Media Limited, City FM controlling 4.7%, Kelvin FM Limited, that is in Kumasi, controlling 3.8%, in all 44.8%. Then they have most popular news sources. Digital media family into peke sa nkrofo we sa groups now Kojo upon Akroma say while our team aims at total dominance of the media architecture in the nearest future, there is a need to have a generally good appeal in the media. To this end, we have observed that the discourse in the media has been generally fruitful. This has not happened by accident. Nkrumah has successfully recruited about 80% of top journalists, including some with adversarial tendencies towards us. His weekly covert meetings with them to plan the issues of the week have been exceedingly impactful. Yanina ma omo sha so mo print e bi no newspapers mo no. Say pro NDC media and newspapers no. Dom ko akosommo.
Forest Hotel.
Forest Hotel. No more print newspapers. No more catch on mo de mo no mo na mo ye professionals. Akoshi omo order. Okoto yakamia.
Omo nyina.
Nipa bebre say. Also the roles of Kwaku Bako, Paula Dumotre, Kwame Sifakan, OB of multimedia cannot be underestimated. It is for this reason that Nana nearly sacked Kandapa for delaying the release of their monthly allowance of 1 million Ghana cedis. 1 million, which is 10 billion. Since the national security budget does not go through the normal scrutiny, this group has to be assured of an enhancement of their regular emolument in our next government on condition that they work hard for our anticipated victory in December. So you get it? Then that is where this was leaked in 2019. Okay, so with the media, quick one. With the media, media now
okay, because I want to take it from a general
okay.
point of view.
Eslo on closure of opposition media, we score Esla also 70% for her execution of the agenda to close down. So Esla Usu mubetimi ayi document no wa person you be able to ayen PDF to betimi ayi ni nyina dia kwakyewa busuafo now no more kenkai. We score as low as 70% for execution of the agenda to close down through NDC radio and television stations. While we praise her for closing media entities such as Radio XYZ, Capital Radio, Munti FM, and many more, she scored some low marks in the implementation of the strategy. We expected her to leave Radio Gold from the list for obvious tactical reasons. She could have waived their debt like she has done for our friendly stations such as Ash FM in Kumasi. She could have been fired for the avoidable backlash in strategy, but for her long-standing role as Nana's protege.
AKA Nana Inchimu.
Phase 2 of media control. Joy 99.5 FM and others. There is no doubt that Joy 99.7 FM and the multimedia group will remain an industry leaders in the communication sphere of the country. While relying on them as a veritable ally, anti-MPP agenda by some of their staff does not portend well for us. We were left with no choice but to have used our boys to threaten Manasseh Azuri Awuni. While his publication in the past inured to our political benefit, he has overstretched himself in his attempt to assume an air of neutrality. He was influential in a historic victory, but his constant attacks on government culminating into the militia documentary was most unfortunate. Elaborate support to our friendly media. Lessons born out of the Manasseh debacle cannot be glozed over. It proved that we cannot overly rely on a seemingly friendly media to take total control of the communication space in the country. But also, emu no mde be Asase radio no. Eno mu pushi Joy from 99.7 to 99.5. I'm not by 99.5. And I'm the call 99 closer. That's 2 bar. Exactly. No Pia Joy a corner him and I'm the Asase ever share. The NCA waivers we offered the Kansas City media and other party affiliates over their license must continue. In 2021, Nkrumah will present a comprehensive list of other radio stations that must be recruited into this fold. We have to issue receipts covering the next 10 years as being payment of post-paid renewals. Professor Adai has already received instructions from Nana to give tax waivers to the media entities that will be submitted to him. Sure. Well, they know no you want to be sir.
We have a chiko.
Sir, I Nkrumah is already making sure that about 90% of government advertisements go to the pro-MPP media. Same must be replicated in our next government. These lofty gestures will ensure that our friendly media houses consolidate financial reserves and use the power of financial capacity to outplay the NDC media in the ever-increasing competitive media environment. Yeno na ama yenkure foi bi eya na anibra bo omo so no mu kope kakra tafre. We nkwasiafo we wodo omo sika ye den. Kwasiafo pa say from presidency kwasiafo say wodo omo sika ye den. Ya ne nipa bi kire no kra wo wiase a. Okay, so reserving electronic communication frequencies to true party faithfuls. You know, so agenda no mayo into sha kingdom amofa the whole Ghana omo man won't me no tonton and I'm say otwara nyen nenka ayi ofu ti say ayi akwa we won't me we ofu we frequencies na yasesa regional capitals ye di amano nti no so omayo na mamenka same way. They said something about EIB. And let me touch on it. Quick one. Under the electronic communication frequencies to true party faithfuls. Also, it is important to know that while supporting pro-MPP media would attract their loyalty and support towards us, getting out and out party members to establish radio and TV stations will be a sure bet. Osler has been instructed by Nana through Gabi to execute Plan A of this plan. And pinning the plan is to allocate seized NDC frequencies to our members. Even if the original owners are willing to pay multiple of times, she is to refuse their renewal since dominance over money is our focal point. Unim say, omu di biya me. Me frequency. Me makwa kutia. Tama som makotua ma omaje. Eye renewal sikano, omaje sikano ama me receipt and me credit receipt. No ma twa ma me say frequency no omo pe. Na me maka kire omo say me mama me lawyer kire omo aka kire omo say eye a friend say loyachi. Okay. Me maka kire omo say MPP ni bia nu ode ne sabeka me frequency. Ye change power ne men nantia badwuma mu abebo se me ba. Asesa wo niema me kane ne ama akufuado kromfo no ate no mon kan kire ayi kwasea no ote yansi ye wono say ayi adoche me Bobie ansa obia nu obetimi afa me radio frequency me ma is the radio NCA a guy no maka kire ma send the message so obia do ne sabe ka me Bobie ansa me frequency say me si amobese no aha no bia odine sabeka say ye di Bobie ansa frequency ama MPP ni ada mo beti se ato aba ma ade me ntwen ma afi na joma ama no ma issue statement say for frequency no too me nante aba wadwuma mu straight me ba wadwuma mu straight e dey say frequency ni da no mo timi fam obia akoso mo de o mo timi fam obia nobody me nante aba wadwuma opon kromakura nim me penkola mo ba bu workers te se me yema ye ba bu me maka kire o mo no mo record fa ko madam pare me frequency alaila ba bu se de ye me se MPP ni bia nu a me obetumi use me frequency me ana me frequency